Oh, we're back again. I won't lie to you. I wasn't particularly looking forward to talking about FPL this morning, but this is the game, isn't it? Some weeks are good, some weeks are not so good. I look back to last season and the chips that I played. I got quite lucky with some of them. I look back particularly at the assistant manager last season. I think I had an absolute just godly run of luck with that chip. And I think I'm just getting the other side of it at the moment. And this is the nature of the game. And I think, a lot of people have had good weeks. I obviously haven't. Well done if you have. I think you've clearly made the right call if you've used your free hit this week and are saving your triple captain until maybe game week 17 or have already used it. But I do think I've been unlucky. And I think one of the skills in FPL is how you deal with a bad game week. Not getting too carried away, ripping up your team and changing it. Yeah, that's the game, isn't it? And as Nixie said, as a content creator at times, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you play the game your own way and it doesn't work out, everyone forgets about you. If you play the game the template way and it works out, everyone hounds you for playing the template way. And if you play the game your own way, it goes well and it's different to what other people are doing, you're called lucky. So it's the nature of the game, isn't it? I'm very grateful to be doing this as part of my living, and I still love the game. It's been a tough couple of weeks for me, though, I will say. Let us know in the chat how you've gotten on. I've realised that from doing team reviews on the deadline stream last week, I've actually got someone else's team open in front of me. So I'm just going to quickly open my own team and then we'll have a look. Sorry for my monologue at the start, but I needed to have a little vent. The game is as much. I think FPL is as much a mental game as it is luck, isn't it? It's about keeping your head when things don't really go your way. Tangoed if you did, dangoed if you don't, indeed. One thing I will say though, and I'm going to take some credit for this. If you watch, sorry, I'm just going to move my mic. If you watch my free hit video I did early on in the game week, and a YouTube short that you'll see on my channel with a free hit team. The free hit team I picked is the best free hit team you could probably have had this week. I had Collins in it. I had Voltamada in it. I picked like all of the fringy free hit players that would have done well. So I think it goes to show that I could maybe still pick a decent team, even if I didn't pick it myself. But anyway, here's how we did. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's too bad, right? 24 points. I haven't used my free hit. I only had, 4 players play yesterday. Senesi, Semenyo, Thiago, who is my transfer in. I sold Enzo Fernandez in a couple of moves to get Thiago in. He obviously got a brace. There's a little bit of a worry because he went off injured, but honestly, I think he's fine. It was a bit of a time-wasting incident. The only thing that does worry me is the fact he plays Arsenal next week, and I think I'm going to have to play him, to be honest. I guess you could do worse. And yeah, as things go, I'm still on a green arrow. I've got a 24k gain in rank, but I did, ladies and gentlemen, use my triple captain on Haaland this week, and obviously he did diddly squat, absolutely nothing. I was in two minds about that, right? Because he's obviously got a good fixture in game week 17 against West Ham, but at the same time, that game week 17 fixture isn't promised. There's uncertainty between now and then. He could get injured. So I just thought, we know he's going to play. I've got an option to use my chip this week. There is, of course, a risk that game week 17, something happens where, he's not going to play, whatever. I think there was power in being certain that he was going to play. And Leeds was obviously a good fixture, no doubt about it. They scored 3 goals. They may have conceded 2, but they scored 3 goals. And I think, to be honest, it's a little bit unlucky that he didn't do anything. Whether or not he was all that dangerous throughout the game, I didn't see the whole game, but whether or not he was all that dangerous throughout the game, I think is by the by, Leeds at home for Man City is a good game, and I don't think it was a bad decision. It just didn't work out for me. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the chat then. What have we got? I have Salah, Rogers, Martinez, good team that, mate. Also, I do think, I was talking about this on my buy and avoid video where I bloody forgot that Senesi was on 5 yellow cards. But the list of defences that you can pick from in FPL at the moment is pretty low, isn't it? Let's be honest. Arsenal are just clearly the best defence. And then outside of that at the moment, it's pretty slim pickings. I've got an issue next week. If we just have a look. So I've got an issue next week, really, where one of my defenders is playing a top team. Senesi is banned. Anderson's against Man City. Rodon is against Chelsea. And I'm left thinking, well, who can I actually bring in this week? And I'm drawn a little bit towards the Forest defence. I think under Sean Dyche, they're looking better. Certainly getting some DEFCON. And I can actually do Senesi to Murillo in one move. So I'm thinking about potentially doing that. What else we got in the chat? Is it time to sell Nick Pope? I'll go back to my point about defences, though. Yeah, cool, you can sell him, but who'd you buy? Would you buy O'Reilly? I mean, they conceded 2 goals to Leeds. And will he play midweek? I just don't know. Swapped out Collins for Coyote last minute. Yeah, the only thing I would say about Coyote is he might have the long throws, but you don't get necessarily direct returns from long throws. The aim of a long throw is to get a flick on, and Collins is usually the one that does that. Thoughts on Chalobah and Enzo starting midweek? Yeah, that Chelsea rotation against Leeds I think is going to be interesting. Because obviously against Burnley it was Caicedo that was left out and Enzo that started. I think the opposite could happen against Leeds in game week 14. That was one of the reasons that I sold... Enzo Fernandez, because I wasn't sure if he would play next week. I thought, well, Thiago's got a much better fixture this week, and I'm not entirely sure that Enzo will start next week. And also with Cole Palmer being back as well, will Cole Palmer start against Arsenal this week? I don't know, but I think he probably gets good minutes against Leeds, doesn't he? And I think that probably takes away. That probably takes away the appeal from Enzo a little bit. Yeah, Leeds going 2 up on Haaland every minute of the game, which let Foden find space, exactly. Let's hope West Ham do that as well, so Haaland doesn't score too many goals. Do you think Haaland is a sell? God, no. He's best player in the game, mate. So you think Timber starts midweek? I think he does, to be honest with you. Although it is a risk. I wouldn't be surprised if Ben White got a game. But honestly, I think Timber plays. I think he's been so good and so reliable, hasn't he, that he probably gets a game. The one I'd be most worried about is Calafiori, to be honest with you. I just think Timber is probably one of the best defenders in world football at the moment. So I'd be surprised to see him left out, to be honest. What else we got? Thoughts on Adele in goal? I think he meant Sells. Yeah, Sells not too bad. I don't think he's been playing quite at the level he was last season, though. I think the performance level of Sells was one of the reasons Forest was so good defensively last year. He's not quite hit those heights again. Nicholas, it's not really the kind of stream we do a team review in, I'll be honest with you. Usually that's for the deadline streams, but we've got one coming up on Tuesday, obviously. James on 43 points. I like that, mate. So glad I free hit. Yeah, nice one. Buy Saliba or Timber. I think Timber's the one. I gotta say, I think Timber is the one. He is 0.3 XGI per 90. Timber is on this season, which makes him one of the best defenders for underlying data from an attacking point of view of in the game. So I think he's the one. We'll see, Seb. We'll see on rotation. I think that's the thing. You might not be so sure, but it's just unknown at the moment. I guess, obviously, it all depends on how the Arsenal game plays out, right? Is it worth going against Haaland captain next week? What are the fixtures next week? Man City away at Fulham, obviously on Tuesday. Quick turnaround. I guess on the subject of going against Haaland, I don't hate it, but who would you pick? Who would you pick as captain if you don't have Haaland? That is the question I would ask you. There's no one there absolutely screaming out to me who I would pick. That's the only thing for me. Saka, Bruno? Maybe Bruno, to be fair. You could do Bruno, I guess. He's the only one, really, that stands out to me. And then you're doing Haaland versus Bruno. It's probably Haaland, isn't it, really? Obviously, Man United are so hit and miss as well. They're so hit and miss. You haven't seen them, obviously, haven't seen them play this week yet. We'll see how they line up, I suppose. Should we have a look through the games? Let's have a look through the games. We're 10 minutes in. Let's have a look through the games. Oh, so we had Brentford 3, Burnley 1. All of the action kind of happened in the last 10 minutes, didn't they, after Thiago got his penalty. Another Brentford penalty, another one scored by Thiago. We've obviously scored 2 goals in that game. Burnley, well, they got a penalty as well. And obviously Thiago scored from open play too. It was a shot very close to the goal from the box, sort of it wasn't necessarily a second ball, but it was a proper poacher's finish. And then Dango with a goal and an assist. There was obviously a big decision to be made, basically, on whether you went for Dango or Sharda, I think, on your free hit team. Dango owners obviously got the luck and it paid off. Sharda owners got nothing. But quite honestly, there was nothing to split Thiago and Dango, was there, going into... Sharda and Dango going into that game. And I think if you had Dango, fair play to you. If you had Sharda, you're unlucky, really. I wouldn't deep it too much. I don't think you need to do any lessons learned reviews on your decision making there. I really do think it was a 50-50 between the two players. And to be honest, I think Sharda was probably the better of the two because I think his minutes have been better this season, to be honest with you. Any talking points about Burnley? Not really. They're just a team to target, aren't they? And I think that game proved it. Even though they were pretty resilient for the first sort of 75 minutes, yeah, they're the team to target. Could anyone really have predicted Leeds scoring 2 goals against Man City? I don't think I could have done. Let's zoom in so we can see in a bit more. What's happened to Man City's crest there? Anyway. 2 goals for Phil Foden. I think, as someone previously said in the comments, sorry that I can't remember your name, but Leeds obviously set up to do a job on Haaland in the sense that they had a couple of players marking him for most of the game, and that left a lot of space for Foden, and he got the 2 goals. And would Foden be a buy in my team now? Absolutely not. I don't think I would buy Foden. I think that was the game for him, and I don't think he's an option really in the game going forward. If you're on your free hit, you take the points, I think, in your run, really. An assist for O'Reilly. I think there could have been an O'Reilly to Foden goal early on in the game. So there would have been obviously a goal and assist for both of those players. Guardiola obviously scored the other goal for Man City. So I think the 2 Man City defenders I sort of ummed and ahed between were Guardiola and O'Reilly. And obviously they both got attacking returns. Leeds obviously had a penalty that Donnarumma saved. So Donnarumma would have done he got 5 points in that game. So he would have done all right, I guess. And then obviously goals for Leeds came from bloody Calvert-Lewin. So on a week where I triple captain Erling Haaland, in the same game, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scores more points than him. What can he say? I definitely think Leeds are not... They are a team to target, but I don't think they're terrible, is what I'd say about Leeds. I would also be... They're probably going to get rid of their manager at some point, which I think is quite harsh, but I do think that will probably happen. So we'll see how that goes for them. The one thing I would say about Leeds is their goalkeeper is shocking, isn't he? He's not had a great time of it. Any much else to say? Defensive contributions for Gonzalez, Tanaka, and Struijk, who's Groove defender. No, he's a midfielder, so he didn't get it. Pretty much all there is to say is in there. Foden, 2 goals, 3 bonus, 15 points. So Phil Foden's 15 points is probably justification alone for your free hit, isn't it, really? We had Sunderland 3, Bournemouth 2. Obviously, Bournemouth took the lead in that game. Looked good value to win it, but Sunderland at home are just... They're a force, aren't they? They're undefeated still at home. Obviously, getting some points off Arsenal in their previous home fixture, I think. And then beating, obviously, Bournemouth 3-2 in this one. Goals from Enzo Lefebvre, Brobby and Traore for them, and a goal for Adams and Adley, the new player that featured for Bournemouth yesterday. One moment that particularly frustrated me in that game was Semenyo beating a man on the left-hand side of the box, crossing the ball. Wow, it was a shot cross across the box. It hit Alderete, was goal-bound from the Alderete deflection. Evan Nilsson was on the goal line and tapped it in, but he was offside. So in my team, I basically had Evan Nilsson standing offside on the goal line, cancelling out a goal, well, an assist that could have been for Semenyo. That was really painful. I guess the other talking point is Senesi, who is in, how many teams is he in? 30%? 26.2% of teams. He picked up his 5th yellow card yesterday. So the Everton game, which I thought was quite a good fixture for Bournemouth, he's going to miss that, unfortunately. And then next up, he's got Chelsea, and then he's got Man United. And then after that, we get our 5 free transfers, and he plays Burnley and Brentford. And the run after that is not, well, it's quite tough, actually. So I think if you bear in mind that we have 5 free transfers coming to us in Game Week 16, I think you could probably sell Senesi at this point, couldn't you? I mean, Chelsea, Man United, probably not going to get anything out of those games. And then for the Burnley game, we've all got 5 free transfers. So, well, we should do. So I'm probably looking to sell Senesi. And that leads me on to who I think could be a good replacement for him. And I pronounce it Teal on my video, but I think it's actually Chow, if that's how you pronounce it. You can correct me in the comments. 2 goals for him. Obviously, they did concede against Everton, but their next 2 fixtures are at home at St James's Park against Tottenham, who are pretty hopeless, and then Burnley, who are obviously also pretty hopeless. And then it's the tiny weird derby when you could again go for, I think Senesi's got Man United then. But at the same time, I think that's a good couple of fixtures if you were looking for a Senesi replacement, I guess. But yeah, other talking points on that game. First away win for Newcastle this season. 2 goals for Teal. Lewis Miley, a minimum price midfielder, came away with a 15-pointer. He's 4.4 million in the game. He played the 490 in his first start, well, since Game Week 9. So he's not an option, I don't think, in the game. But he obviously did the business yesterday. Voltemada, he hasn't scored for a few weeks since Game Week 8. But I don't know about you, I think he's been a wonderful signing for Newcastle. I haven't really seen a defence properly have his number yet. And what really impresses me is that he's just really good with his feet, isn't he? We'll have a look at the lineups for the Crystal Palace Man United game after we finish going through the games. That's probably the main takeaway from me, really. You've probably got as well Dewsbury Hall, 2 goals in 2 games at 4.9 million. He is probably the best cheap midfielder in the game for attacking returns. He's got 5 from 12 games. Not been too bad. And the fixtures, I guess, next couple are not too bad either. 4.9 million for Dewsbury Hall is fairly good value, to be fair. And then Spurs v Fulham. Fulham's second goal through Harry Wilson was the most Spurs goal I've ever seen in my life. I think the last few weeks have proven to me that Spurs are really not at it this season, are they? They are probably a good... If your player is playing Spurs in FPL, I think you can probably consider them a good fixture at the moment, really. Shipping 2 goals to Fulham at home, and Fulham are terrible away from home this season. Shipping 2 goals to them is pretty awful, and they did that yesterday. So I don't think Fulham have had an away win this season. Away loss, away loss, away loss, away loss, away loss, and an away win. So yeah, Fulham haven't won away. Oh, they drew against Brighton on the... So there you go. And Spurs have not won at home since Game Week 1. So there you go. I'll just have a quick look at the lineup, shall we? No surprises apparently, but we'll just review them while we're all here. I think it's very relevant, isn't it? Here's Man United's Twitter. Oh, so this is the Man United team. I can't actually, because it sends me to the website. Lamans in goal, Dalot, De Ligt, Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Xerxes, Euro, Ahmad, Casemiro, Mbeumo and Shaw. So Cunha's still not in the United squad, although I think Amorim in his pre-match presser suggested that he should be available for Game Week 14. And I actually think Cunha could be a really interesting option in the game. I think there are 2 players due to return from injury very soon in Cole Palmer and Cunha, who could be really interesting options in FPL going forward, particularly considering how many of the popular midfielders in the game or good midfielders in the game, namely Njai, dare I say Salah, and Mbeumo are all off to AFCON. The likes of Cunha and Palmer could be taking their places, basically. Who have we got for Palace? I'm not going to show my Twitter feed on stream just in case there's anything dodgy on there. We know what Twitter can be like. The Palace team, I'd be surprised if there's any changes, to be honest. Oh, bear with, guys. There we go. Here's the Palace team. Henderson, Munoz, Richards, Lacroix, Gahey, Mitchell, Wharton and Kamada, Pino, Sarr. So it's the team, basically, isn't it? Wharton starts. Will Hughes is on the bench. Sometimes he's played in midfield. Sometimes Lerma's played there. It's good. It's a good Palace team, isn't it? And I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, Man United have not won at Selhurst Park for a very, very long time. I would actually, in my opinion, you might disagree, I'd suggest Crystal Palace could be the favourites going into this game. I don't know how you feel about that. It's also the kickoff times today are very weird. Munoz is on 4 yellow cards, is he, as well? So that's something to bear in mind. I do think Munoz is one of the best players in the game, but I'd worry about the yellow cards, and I'd worry about just how many minutes he's going to end up playing in that position, because that could be a killer this week, or a killer for the upcoming games that they've got. Freddie is thinking he could be a trap, but that's the game you play, I think, with these players. I've owned Foden since game week 11, and the one time he returns, he's in everyone's free hit team. That's fair enough, but the one thing I would also say about the free hit is there was lots of chat. Go back to my team a second. There was lots of chat about people picking the same looking free hit teams, but let's be honest, there were 3 sort of outstanding fixtures that you want to target this week, right? One of them being Brentford, another one being Wolves, and the other one being Man City, right? Ideally, you want to triple up on those 3 teams, so you're going to have 9 players from those teams, and I think most of those teams have obvious picks, so people shouldn't be getting stick for picking identical free hit teams, right? And I think just being on your free hit in itself is a differential. Like, honestly, in the grand scheme of FPL, the percentage of players that used their free hit yesterday, it's a differential in itself. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Hopefully I can show the mental clarity that even though I didn't play my free hit and I've done pretty badly this week, I can still see, the value of it. And anyway, Foden was 12% effective ownership. That's all you need to know, really, isn't it? Right. I'm just going to quickly also mention the FPL Cartel. We've got 300 people in here at the moment, which is mega. Thank you, everyone, for joining the stream. If you haven't already, if you could please leave a like rating, I'd be very grateful for that. Let's see if we can do 100 likes by the end of the stream. We've got 300 people on here at the moment. Let's see if we can do 100 likes by the end of the stream. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. I am hoping, we're closing in, and I'm hoping to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're enjoying the stream, please subscribe, leave a like rating. It really helps me out. That's what I ask. And also, if you might also know of FPL Tom, a fellow FPL YouTuber who was on his free hit this week and did very well. He got some unnecessary stick on Twitter this morning, I saw as well. The 2 of us have started the FPL Cartel. Really exciting project. I'm really looking forward to work. Well, we're already working together, but it's an exclusive Discord, and we're also doing an exclusive weekly podcast as a duo as well. If you've ever seen, there's a few examples of it on our channels already, but if you're interested in joining, please use the link in the description below. We get you 30% off your first month if you want to try it out. So yeah, please do check out the FPL Cartel. I don't know if it's reliable at all, but there's a guy with 17k followers, a sports journalist, who says Salah has been benched. Oh, the page doesn't exist, apparently. It's been deleted. Yeah, the tweet's been deleted, mate, if that is the case. Wouldn't surprise me, though, if Slot made some big decisions this week with his team selection. His job's on the line, isn't it? All right, so it's customary at the end of a reaction stream that we do a little quiz that's based on Game Week 13. First question of the quiz is, who is the top scoring player this game week so far? You can all you have to do to take part in the chat, by the way, is subscribe. So if you subscribe to the channel, you can answer the quiz questions in the chat as well. The answer is Chow. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Chow. I'm going to say Chow until someone corrects me. He scored 16 points this week. Van de Ven. Let's have a quick look at that, Nixie. Cheers, mate. We'll have a look at that after the quiz. Next question. Can anyone guess who that is? That's interesting on Chris Royce, because he doesn't tweet very often, but when he does, he's absolutely correct. That is interesting. I follow him as well. which probably suggests that he has he's been right in the past as well. I don't tend to follow that many people on Twitter now because my feed is pretty tailored, but I follow him, so that could be legit about Salah. Anyway, this is Lewis Miley. So someone got it, and forgive me, I can't pronounce your name. I can't. Your name ends in 717 on my screen. You guessed it correctly, the only one. So well done on that. Next question. Okay, so a lot of people use their free hit, of course, but overall, who was the most transferred in player ahead of Game Week 13? Who had the most transfers in? Be sure, by the way, to leave a like rating on the stream if you're enjoying the quiz. We got 280 people in here and 44 likes. We could do a few more, I reckon. The answer, because people are going to start saying it in the chat, is the pen merchant himself. Bear with, I'm just going to blow my nose. The pen merchant himself, Igor Thiago. Bear with. There we go. Right, so Thiago was the top scorer. Well, top scorer, the most transferred in. We're just making sure we're not skipping questions. Next question. Any guesses for who that is? Any guesses at all for who that could be? Wow, you guys are good. It is Dango. Well done, everyone that said Dango. I think, having looked at that back, I'd have guessed Thiago. So yeah, everyone that guessed Dango, bloody hell. Fair play to you. And the final question of the quiz. So if you're paying attention at the start, obviously I've somehow ended up with the green arrow, but how many points have I scored this game week so far? 8. Come on, mate. I've got more than 8 points. I've got 24 points so far this game week. So well done, everyone that said 24. Let us know. Hope you enjoyed the quiz. Leave a like rating and subscribe if you did. But yeah, let me know in the chat how many you got out of 5. As you can see, 24 points so far. I'm in thinking mode about what I do with my team next week, is the only thing. I've got 0.5 to spend, 1 free transfer. I think most of these players, barring injury, should probably play next week. A little bit of bench coverage. I think my move will be Senesi out, and I'm looking at maybe a Murillo or Teal. They would probably be my replacements, but I'm just, in 2 minds about what I'd do. That's kind of my thinking at the moment. I'll do a bit more thinking in my transfer plans video that will come out tomorrow, but yeah, that's my overarching thoughts at the moment. What do you think I should do with this team? I think Senesi out for they'll call you a points chaser if I go out. He's a Newcastle defender as well. It's just whether I go for Teal or Murillo, I think. I don't hate Murillo. Because if you look at the fixtures that Forest have as well, bearing in mind, I consider Game Week 16 to be like a mini wildcard, really, because you get 5 free transfers. I look at Murillo's fixtures. Wolves away and Everton away in the 2. Pretty good fixtures, aren't they? 2.2% owned in the game. Obviously a 17 point. We're not getting carried away with the 17 points against Liverpool. What I am getting carried away about is the defensive contributions. 15 against United, 6 against Leeds, 19 against Liverpool. I guess it's opposition dependent, but he's pretty good, isn't he? Yeah, I tell you what, Sales could be a good shout as well. Down to 4.7 million now. What's his saves like per game? Is he making saves? Where's his saves? Is that saves? 3. He's not amazing, but it could be good, actually. 4.7 for Sells is a really good price now, isn't it, actually? Yeah, I think he could be a good shout. Bit of Forest defence could be interesting. That's my overarching feelings about my team. So we've done half an hour of the stream. That's usually as long as I tend to go for with these. Quick, off-the-cuff reaction. Hopefully, if you've had a good week, you've had a chance to gloat about it in the chat. If you've had a bad week like me, you've had a chance to complain about it. I've tried not to be too negative. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Like I've kept saying, I sound like I'm begging. I'm not. Just be nice. Leave a like rating on your way out. Feel free to abuse me for my terrible triple captaincy decision. We've obviously got a game at 12, so we're looking forward to that. Man United against Crystal Palace. Let's hope for some a Bruno Fernandes and Mark Gahey goal, I think, is what I want this week. I think I really need a performance from Bruno Fernandes for my team. I think that would protect me against too much damage from the free hit. I think it's a big game for me, this one. So let's hope it works out. I wish you all the best for the rest of the day. I'll have a video coming out. When will it come out this evening? What's the games like? It will come out at 6:30, and then we will have another video with my transfer plans on Monday. We're doing an FPL Cartel podcast Tuesday morning, and then obviously on Tuesday it's the next deadline. So it's a bloody busy few days for me in terms of football, but we love it. So cheers, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and leave a like rating and subscribe on your way out.